What if one book could change the way you thought about money for the rest of your life and set you up for success? Many people would say that that one book is Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. It is known as the book about success, and it is still read so much today. So many people still think that it is the best book on learning how to become successful and to grow wealth. And so I had never read this book until recently, and I decided to take a look. And it was a book that I would say has been probably ripped off many times since he published it. I probably think that this was maybe the original of these concepts, or maybe it wasn't. But I do think that a lot of people have borrowed some of his ideas for success books in the that have happened since then. However, I do think it's worth reading because he puts emphasis on certain things that other books or other people who talk about success in the same way don't. And I think it's really interesting where he emphasizes versus what other people do. So in this video, we are going to look at Think and Grow Rich, take 5 key takeaways from it to help you grow your mindset and hopefully grow your wealth. And we will do that. So before we get started, if you are a regular here, welcome back. We're happy to have you. And if you are new here, welcome. We are talking about how to become financially fit, how to become financially free, hopefully. That's what most people are trying to accomplish. I'm Lisa. I've been doing this for over 14 years, and I am a financial advisor, and I do help people get to financial freedom as quickly as possible. So if that sounds like something you would like to learn more about, you're interested in hearing about Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, let's get started on that. Now, I'm going to put out a preface on this. I am this close to saying Napoleon Dynamite every single time I say his name. That is probably because I'm a 80s, 90s kid, and that sticks in my head as Napoleon Dynamite, not Napoleon Hill. So if I say that, I apologize in advance. I could just feel myself getting there. So hopefully I don't, but if I do, that is my apology in advance. Okay, so lesson number 1 I got was to define your desire. And this is one of those areas I really feel like he put an emphasis on more than other people do. And I'll tell you why I think this is important. So he doesn't just say define your desire, he says your burning desire. He talks about this passion, this desire you have for success, for accomplishing this thing. And that burning desire takes you through your entire success process in his book. It is, setting up a goal. Maybe it's paying off debt. Maybe it's, buying your first home. Maybe it's financial freedom. And this is the number I need in order to get to financial freedom. Whatever that is, you have to have your goal, but you have to have a burning desire for that goal. And it's got to be your goal, because if it's not something that you have a burning passion for, it is very hard to accomplish that. And this is something I have felt a long time with clients, with prospects. There's this thing in society that we feel like we should do something. I should want this. I should want to do that. And so we say that that's our goal. But is it really your goal? Because I see people telling me that something is their goal, and then they do the complete opposite. I want my money to last the rest of my life, but yet I spend like a crazy person. I want to save for retirement, but yet I spend like a crazy person. I do no savings whatsoever. How can I save for retirement if I don't save at all? Those are things that I see people self-sabotage a lot, and we're getting into some of how that can happen too through fear. That's another one of his lessons. But I feel like people don't actually put down what their goal is. There's no burning desire for it. And we all say, oh, we want this, but we do nothing to actually accomplish it because it's actually not our burning desire. It's not actually our goal. And so this was very prominent throughout the book, and I feel like he's absolutely right. He's absolutely right, because people don't have a burning desire for the goals that they put forth because they think that those are the correct goals. Those are the goals you're supposed to have. Instead of, those are the goals I actually want. Because if you actually want something, you're going to take action and start doing something towards it. Do you keep that momentum up? Do you not? That is all based off of your burning desire. And so that, I think, is a really strong concept that people don't really look at. And I think is the crux of why people don't succeed in their financial goals like they think they should. Lesson number 2 is believe in yourself. And again, this seems really like, oh, believe in yourself and, this kind of thing. But I do think that a lot of people don't think they can do it. They don't think that they actually have it in themselves to save $1 million or whatever their number is that they're supposed to save to get to financial freedom. I don't think that they think that they have the willpower to save more. They don't think that they have the means to do that. I was just watching a podcast, and one of the questions, the podcast host, who is I'm not sure if he's a billionaire, but he's a multi-millionaire, very successful business owner. They said, well, how can you keep telling us to invest in the markets when I can't pay my bills? And he said, do you want to invest in the markets, or are you using that as an excuse? And a lot of people would say that that's mean. That's really mean that you said that, Tom, but he's right. Because if you really wanted to, you would find a way. Maybe that means you've got to drive Uber a couple times a week. Maybe that means that you've got to cut back on going out with friends. Maybe you need to make your bills smaller if you can. I know that's hard. It's not easy, but being successful isn't easy. And if you don't truly believe that you can do it, linked with that burning desire that we talked about, you're not going to. And so oftentimes, and I'm looking at my notes, just if you're wondering what I'm looking at, in our mind, if we can conceive it, we believe it, but at the same time, you have to have those reinforcing feelings. And, are you really letting fear hold you back from getting what you want? And a lot of people do. And so they don't truly believe they can do it. They're fearful of failing, and they don't have a strong enough burning desire. And so they don't. And that's kind of, to me, the crux of what the problem is for a lot of people, are those two mindset things. Not enough real passion around what their goal is. Because is that their goal or not? We don't know. Is that something that they've been told that they're supposed to want, and so they say that they want that, but they don't really want that? And also, have you gotten that in your mindset that you're not good enough to do that? You can't do that. You can't save. You can't do any of that stuff. You can't tell your friends that you don't want to go out for a happy hour this week. Is that something that's holding you back? Fear of missing out, fear of being judged for what you're doing. There's a lot of fears that hold us back from accomplishing what we want. And really, I hate to say it, taking care of ourselves. It's sad we do this to ourselves. Okay, so lesson number 3 is the simple one, or the one that people say, yeah, I know, is plan and take action. And he talks about how wishing for wealth won't work. And you can't do that. You do have to actually take some action. You can't just change your mindset and things are going to happen. You have to have a step-by-step plan on how to accomplish what you're trying to accomplish. So, you've got practical steps. Maybe it's a budgeting app that you use. Maybe it's, investing a little differently, or just educating yourself a little bit more when it comes to your investing. Maybe it's building that emergency fund finally, so you are not paycheck to paycheck anymore. That kind of stuff is very important, but you do need to have a plan, at least a set of little things that you're going to do to try to accomplish your goal. If you just say, I'm going to save more, it's not specific enough. What does more mean? $1 more? A penny more? I mean, that's more, right? Or are you going to save, $10,000 this year? That's the goal. Now, how are you going to do that? What is going to keep you motivated to keep on track? What is that link for that burning desire for that? And what are your non-negotiables? What are you not going to negotiate on to get to your goal? Those all are plans and action steps that you can do. Maybe it's, I'm going to look at this budgeting app every single day. Maybe, and no exceptions. Christmas, New Year's, still going to look at it. You've just got to set rules for yourself to take care of yourself. That's the key to that. Lesson number 4 is surrounding yourself with the right people. I think that this, again, is very underappreciated. I guess that's probably not the word either. I'll find it. Underappreciated, though, for how important this is. If somebody is constantly trying to get you off your path when you are telling them that you are trying to save $10,000 this year, and they're constantly saying, oh, don't worry about it, let's go do this, let's go do that, and you seem like you're spending a lot of money and they're not taking you seriously, do you just get rid of that friend? Of course you don't, depending on who they are. But I do think that you can nullify them by having a good support system. Maybe that's a Facebook group that's out there that talks about saving and it helps motivate you. I don't have a specific one. You'd have to find what fits best for you. Maybe it's, talking to your parents. I hate to say this, but a lot of times parents are very, very worried about their kids being financially fit and financially free. And they would love for you to start hitting some of your financial goals. They probably would love that. Maybe one of your parents, maybe both, maybe neither one of your parents, maybe they're not, maybe they're the ones trying to sabotage you, right? You've got to find your group of people that are going to help keep you on track, whether it's a group of friends, or maybe it's your advisor. Half the time that I'm talking to new clients or prospects, it's the accountability piece. Keeping people accountable. They want that because nobody is keeping them accountable anymore for this, and they are not keeping themselves accountable. They want somebody every single month saying, did you do this? Did you do this? Did you do this? How are we doing here? What's going on? What's your excuse for why we didn't hit this? They want that accountability, and financial advisors, the right type of financial advisor, could be that for you. So make sure that you are surrounding yourself with the right people. In his book, he talks about a mastermind group. You could do something like that when it comes to finances. Circles of influence. Like I said, you can find social media groups that help. Just be careful when you go on social media groups, though. Sometimes people are giving out financial advice out there that they really shouldn't be, or it doesn't pertain to you. Be careful of what advice you're taking. If you're just using it for support, that's one thing, but just be careful on the advice that's being given out there, because sometimes it doesn't pertain to you. Sometimes, I hate to say it, there are fraudulent things out there. So just be really careful when you're using social media for that. Try not to take financial advice from people that really have no concept of what you're trying to go through. They might be perfectly nice and trying to help you, but they can still give you bad advice. So just be careful of that. So think about when you're trying to find that group or those people to help surround yourself, who challenges you to think bigger about your financial picture, about your financial freedom journey. That's who you want to do. Maybe it's coworkers, maybe it's your boss, maybe it's your old, teacher from college, something like that. It could be a lot of different people. Lesson number 5, most people would say, well, duh, but never quit. We're going to fail a lot. There are going to be months you can't hit your savings goals. There are going to be setbacks that happen, but you have to be persistent. And again, this is that burning desire. There is nothing that is going to get in your way of you hitting your goal. And, people fail. I don't know how many times I've had clients say, this is my goal this year, and something happens and they don't hit it. And it's about picking them up and making sure that they're dusting themselves off and continuing that journey, because life happens. It's been difficult the last couple years for a lot of people with inflation and with job stuff and AI coming in. There's been a lot of different disruptors that are happening for people. And essentially you could hit a patch, but you cannot give up on it. That's the thing, is that you might have to take a pause, but that doesn't mean you give up. Pause means pause. Restarting it is what you do. You don't stop it. You pause if you need to. And, he says, quitters never win and winners never quit. And it's difficult, but you just have to keep going. And having faith in yourself that you're going to be able to do. That's where all these pieces come together. And having a good plan to go back into. If you have a good action plan, it's much easier to step back into it than if you're just kind of willy-nilly trying to do stuff. So that's it. Those are the 5 lessons that I found from that book. I hope that you find this to be helpful. I would like to start actually, and please let me know what your thoughts are on this, start reviewing more books on here and helping you find some good nuggets that'll help you get through things, whether they're investment books or, success books or anything like that, to help you get through. Hopefully 2025 is a fantastic year, but for some people it will be a difficult year. That's just human nature, unfortunately. We have difficult years sometimes. And how can we get through it? So I'm going to start doing more of these book reviews, 5 tips to learn, things I disagree with. There are some budgeting books out there that I think are not so good. And I think that you have the right to know that. So just like, I watch a lot of makeup influencers and beauty influencers out there who say, I want to save your money by, trying out products before you try them and giving you my honest opinion. I want to read some books, look at some things, the materials that you're getting, and give you my honest opinion and feedback on them of whether or not they're worth checking out or not. And in my opinion, this book was worth checking out. It's very easy reading, a lot easier reading than I thought it was going to be. And you can skim it pretty easily if you're a skimmer, but I found it to be really, really, it was almost like going back to the original of this concept. And I feel like that has some validation, that has some usefulness for us when we're trying to do this. So if you found this inspirational, hopefully you will stick around and come back for the next video. Until next time, take care, keep fighting that fight, and we will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.